Well, the stage is all set for D-Day tomorrow in the Northeast. Counting of votes is scheduled to begin in less than 24 hours from now in Tripura, Nagaland and Meghalaya. A total of 259 candidates were in the fray in Tripura, 183 in Nagaland and 369 candidates in Meghalaya. All three states witnessed remarkable voter turnouts as Tripura went to polls on the 16th of February, while voting in Meghalaya and Nagaland were held on the 27th of February. Ahead of the counting of votes, various exit polls have predicted which alliance or party will form the governments in the three northeastern states in the first electoral battle this year. As per the predictions, while the ruling BJP alliance is set to retain power in Tripura and Nagaland, the race for Meghalaya, on the other hand, will be tight, with 𝗡𝗢𝗥𝗧𝗛𝗏𝗧's NPP likely to emerge as the single largest party. Overall, Meghalaya has been predicted to witness a fractured mandate, with no single party making it past the majority mark. But the question remains, viewers, what will be the people's verdict? Well, preparations are afoot in all three states for the counting of votes, which is set to begin from 8 a.m. tomorrow. So there you have it, viewers. That is, of course, the big story that we have been tracking all day. Counting of votes is scheduled to begin in less than 24 hours from now in what will be the D-Day in Northeast, as Tripura, Meghalaya and Nagaland are all set to elect a new government. A total of 259 candidates were in the fray in Tripura, 183 in Nagaland and 369 candidates in Meghalaya. All three states, of course, witnessed remarkable voter turnouts as Tripura went to polls on the 16th of February, while voting in both Meghalaya and Nagaland were held on the 27th of February. Ahead of the counting of votes, various exit polls have predicted which party or alliance will form the governments in the three northeastern states in what was the first electoral battle this year. As per the predictions, while the ruling BJP alliance is set to retain power in Tripura and Nagaland, the race for Meghalaya will be tight, with 𝗡𝗢𝗥𝗧𝗏𝗏's NPP likely to emerge as the single largest party. Overall, Meghalaya has been predicted to witness some fractured mandate, with no single party making it past the majority mark. But the question, of course, remains, viewers, what will be the people's verdict? Well, preparations in this regard are afoot in all three states for counting of votes tomorrow, which is scheduled to begin from 8 a.m. onwards. All right, so I am being joined now live by our team of reporters who are standing by at Ground Zero to bring us all the latest updates on the preparations that are afoot for counting day tomorrow. I'm being joined now live at this point in time by my colleagues Pinaki Das joining us live from Agartala. We also have our correspondent 𝗟𝗓𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Das, who is joining us from Meghalaya, as is 𝗡𝗢𝗥𝗧𝗛𝗡 joining us from Nagaland. So first of all, very good evening to all four of you. So first of all, let me go to Pinaki, who is joining us live from Agartala. Pinaki, how are the preparations in the various strong rooms for counting of votes tomorrow? That is, of course, the D-Day as far as these three northeastern states are concerned. Pinaki, give us an overview of the preparations that are underway for tomorrow.
See, the administration, particularly the Election Commission, is totally prepared for this big day, the counting day. It had already declared that this day will also be a peaceful one, and adequate security measures have been taken, particularly area domination by the various security forces even in the remote areas, and the vulnerable areas have been already marked, and their security forces have been alerted. More vigil is there. The borders have been sealed. And more important, and most importantly, the Election Commission has taken several measures at the counting centers. There are 21 counting centers across the state. In Agartala, the biggest one is at 𝗡𝗢𝗥𝗧𝗛𝗡𝗔, where a major of the big shots like Chief Minister 𝗠𝗘𝗢𝗥𝗧𝗛𝗡 from the Congress and Ratan Lal Nath from the minister from the BJP, all these big stars of various political parties, their counting will take place at Agartala. Here, there are 3 tier of security arrangement at the counting centers. At the gate point, there are police personnel will go for checking, initial checking, and only authorized persons will be allowed. But before that, there is 100 meters sanitization by the security forces. No one will be allowed to enter that 100 meters periphery within the counting centers, where barricades have been used, so movement of vehicles and unauthorized persons won't be allowed from there itself. And at the inner, after the gate, there will be checking of every authorized person also, and there will be CCTV cameras which have been already installed. Live, there will be live feeds which people can monitor, various political parties, observers can monitor. And inside the rooms, there are fence have been used, the rod fence have been used, so that the ballot boxes are very much safe, which are at present in the strong rooms under sealed position. The doors are also sealed by various political parties and the administration, and paramilitary forces are keeping day-night vigil in those areas. And tomorrow at 8 o'clock, as we know, the counting will start with the postal ballots, and at 8:30, what we have been informed, the counting for the ballot box will start. That is the main issue that the Election Commission is trying to emphasize on, is peace, even not only during the counting at the counting center, but also after declaration of the results. That will be a big, massive task for the Election Commission, and they said we are prepared with the security forces who are only some time back. In this area also we have found a large number of security forces going on flag march to give for area domination. They want to give the message for a peaceful counting. And at the same time, prohibitory arrests have been made, and some prohibitory orders will be there, and there will be a prohibition of gathering of more than 5 person under 144 of CRPC. That is what we came to know. As of now, the preparations are.
All right, so we are prepared. That is the word coming in from Agartala at this point in time as far as counting day tomorrow is concerned. Let me, at this point in time, throw it across to my colleague 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗥𝗧𝗛𝗡 joining us live from Kohima at this point in time. So, Sarah, as far as our assistant news editor from Agartala, Pinaki Das, is concerned, preparations are already in place for tomorrow. So, what is it like across in Kohima at this point in time, Sarah? Are the preparations adequate in place for tomorrow, Sarah?
Absolutely, Ronak. All preparation, the state of Nagaland state is all set for the big day tomorrow. That is the counting day for 181 candidates who were in the fray on the 27th of February, where the state had gone for polls. And yes, right now, as you can see behind me, there are security personals. So yes, all preparation has been put in place for the big day tomorrow, and everything is set. The counting for the state of Nagaland tomorrow will start at 8 a.m. I'm outside the Deputy Commissioner's office, which is going to be the counting center for tomorrow for Kohima, and all adequate securities have also been put in place, and 3-tier security has also been put in place here at the Deputy Commissioner's office as per the ECI guidelines. And yes, in the vulnerable areas, as Nagaland had witnessed post-poll violence till today. So in the vulnerable areas, in the vulnerable counting centers, adequate security has been beefed up. More security has been beefed up in the vulnerable areas. And as there are apprehensions that there might be some kind of clash tomorrow, because a sea of supporters of their respective political parties and candidates will be outside the counting centers waiting the result declaration. So all security has also been put in place. All measures have also been taken. As per the CEO media cell, we have been informed that on the day of the counting, that is tomorrow, the strong room will be opened and polled. EVMs will be brought to the counting room in the presence of the candidates, the returning officers and observers under videography and CCTV security. It has also been informed that in addition to the general observer that has been deployed, the Commission will also be deploying officers as counting observers to oversee the counting centers, arrangements, as well as to monitor all activities relating to the counting of the votes. And besides this, the CEO office has also made arrangements to deploy counting personnel, including supervisors, assistants, micro-observers, and tabulators. So yes, Ronak, the state, Nagaland state is fully prepared. All preparations has been put in place, and we're just waiting for the big day tomorrow. Ronak.
All right. So as far as 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗥𝗧𝗛𝗡 is concerned, preparations do seem pretty adequate as far as Kohima is concerned. Let me throw it across to our Chief of Bureau, 𝗟𝗓𝗙 Das, who is joining us live from Tura at this point in time. 𝗟𝗓𝗙, very good evening to you. And what do you make of the preparations and arrangements in place for tomorrow in Tura and, of course, in West Garo Hills in general? 𝗟𝗓𝗙.
Yes, Ronak, the stage is all set for the day. That's the counting day, which is exactly 15 hours away from now. At 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, the counting will begin. First, it will be the postal ballots which will be counted, and later on, the EVMs will be opened up. And when the main results will be coming out, the trains will be available to us by 11 a.m. in the morning, because the size of the voters is not that much. That's why we are expecting that the trains, who is leading, who is trailing, or who is winning or who is losing, will be emerging in by say 11 a.m. in the morning. So stage is all set for the counting day, and across Meghalaya, counting will take place in all the district headquarters. Since I am in Garo Hills, let me tell you that in Garo Hills there are 24 assembly constituencies, and there are 5 districts. So these 5 districts, the counting will take place in all the district headquarters. For East Garo Hills, it will take place in William Nagar. For West Garo Hills, it will take place in Tura, where I am right now. For North Garo Hills, it will take place in Resubelpara. For South Garo Hills, it will take place in Bagmara. And for Southwest Garo Hills, it will take place in Ampati. So overall, in 5 different centers, the counting will take place in Garo Hills. And as I have said, the stage is all set right now. Security personnel have been deployed in and around the strong rooms, which will be converted into counting stations tomorrow. And at 8 a.m., that's the time when the counting will begin. First, it will begin with the postal ballots, and then the EVMs will be opened up, and when the main trains will be coming out. And as I have said, that since the voters' size is not that large, so we can expect that we can get a larger picture by 8 a.m. tomorrow, who is winning, who is trailing, and who is in the race ahead.
All right, 𝗟𝗓𝗙, thank you very much for giving us that overview. Please don't go anywhere, stand by. And let me go across to Tripura and Nagaland, my colleague, who is joining us from Dimapur at this point in time. Tripura, good evening to you as well. And go ahead and give us an overview of what do you make of these security arrangements and the preparations in place for tomorrow in Dimapur. Tripura.
Good evening, Ronak. Yes, we are here in Dimapur, and exactly 15 hours from now, the counting of votes will have begun for Nagaland. All the candidates, all the political parties are, feeling massive pressure right now at this moment, but it is all part and parcel of the game. And yes, Ronak, let's talk about the security here. The security arrangement is in multiple tier system. Now, we have gone to the Deputy Commissioner's office here in Dimapur, so where the counting of votes will take place tomorrow. So there they have put in place multiple tier security. Now, at the gate, at the entrance gate, there are armed personnel who will be doing, frisking, who will be doing the check, conducting the checking, who will be, going through all of the baggages, or whoever enters, whoever goes out. So that kind of checking is going to take place at the entrance gate itself. And the entire area has been put under CCTV surveillance so that no untoward incident, no trespasser, or nobody can ever, do something to disrupt the counting process. And yes, just when you're about to enter the strong room or the place where the counting of votes will take place, even there in that area, there are several or multiple police personnel as well as armed police forces stationed there, and they will be conducting very strict. They will be very vigilant, and they will be giving very strict vigil on the entire movement that takes place inside. So tomorrow the security arrangement is quite high. It's in fact in several tiers, as I have mentioned just now. And yes, now let's talk about the environment here. Now, as the hours comes down, as the hours get lesser for the D-Day, now all the political parties and all the candidates, they have been, as I mentioned before, they have been engaged in a series of discussions. Now they're trying to sort out how to chalk out strategies for post-poll, So whatever it is, now the air is quite, filled with high energy, and all the candidates house, the offices of the political parties are swarmed by supporters. Now they are all excited and ready to welcome the day tomorrow, the verdict of the people, the mandate of the people. Now everyone is waiting. And yes, celebrations are bound to follow. So even we have also heard from some of the people, some of the candidates, that they are already, they are already into the mood of celebrations, because some of them, or many of them, in fact, are very certain about winning the elections tomorrow. So preparations have, reportedly begun in several areas. So that's what we are hearing as of now. Security is tip-top, it's in top-notch.
All right.
And all the people concerned, all the team members concerned,
All right. So excited and
playing
ready.
their part.
Those are the two words if we had to sum up the preparations in Dimapur. Now let us go across to Shillong, where my colleague 𝗡𝗢𝗥𝗧𝗏 Hazarika will be bringing us all the latest on the preparations. So 𝗡𝗢𝗥𝗧𝗏, very good evening to you, and give us an overview of what do you make of the security arrangements in place for tomorrow. Do you think that the arrangements so far are adequate, 𝗡𝗢𝗥𝗧𝗏?
Yes, Ronak, when we talk about the security arrangements here in Shillong, it is adequate, but I will not term it something that can be called as tight security arrangement. Because you see, unlike Nagaland, Meghalaya is a state that is normally not associated with poll-related violence. And this time also we saw that there has been little to no incidents here in Meghalaya. So if we talk about the preparations tomorrow, adequate preparations on security have been placed at the counting center here in Polo Ground in Shillong and around it. Now normally when we have covered elections in the past, we have seen that the roads around the counting center are normally cordoned off for the public because of security reason. However, that has not been done here in Shillong, because Shillong has a rather drastic traffic problem, and since the roads are narrow, the authorities have decided to let the traffic flowing, at least for now. They have placed a 3-tier security system, one inside within the premises of the Polo Ground that are guarding the strong room where the EVMs have been kept, and security personnel have been are present around the strong room. Now the second tier of security is at the entrance gate, where security personnel are checking the entry and exit, and apart from that, there is a third security tier that is placed at strategic positions around the area of Polo Ground to check the coming and going of people. But obviously, if we talk about the mood in Shillong, people are actually quite fine. They're looking forward to the results tomorrow. This time we witnessed very good voter turnout here in Meghalaya. In East Khasi Hills also, if we talk about here, the voter turnout has been quite good. So keeping that in mind, it should be a smooth day tomorrow. The counting will begin at 8 in the morning, and as our colleagues have earlier pointed out, the trends will start coming in from 10 or 11. But since the votes have been cast in EVM machines, and since Meghalaya and the districts in the East Khasi Hills, the voters are not really that huge. So by afternoon 2 or 3, we should be getting a clear picture of what exactly is the situation in Meghalaya, whether any party will succeed in getting majority to form the government on its own strength, or if it actually leads to a hung assembly, as the exit polls have predicted. If that happens, then from the evening onwards tomorrow, the situation will get very interesting, as parties will start huddling up with each other to in a bid to form alliances. But for now, if I talk of the mood, it's quite fine. There is no security concern as such in Shillong or the surrounding areas in the Khasi Hills districts. People are looking forward to the results. The voting was the voting went pretty good without any incident. So we can expect that tomorrow as well the counting will be smooth and fine, and we will find out what exactly is the picture in Meghalaya by afternoon 2 or 3 p.m. Ronak.
All right, so Joydeep, they're bringing us all the latest on the security arrangements and the preparations in place for tomorrow. Let us now also go to a very, very significant place as far as Nagaland is concerned. My colleague 𝗡𝗢𝗥𝗧𝗛𝗘𝗔 Das is standing by live from Mon district in Nagaland, and he will be also giving us an overview of the arrangement there. So 𝗡𝗢𝗥𝗧𝗏, very good evening to you. And of course, as we all know, the Mon district is a very, very significant place, and of course, security arrangements there are also something that needs to be top-notch in order to ensure that there is absolutely no disruption in the law and order situation and there is smooth conduct of counting of votes. So what do you make of the security arrangements so far over there, 𝗡𝗢𝗥𝗧𝗏?
Yes, Ronak, you are absolutely right. First of all, good evening to you and the viewers of Northeast Live. Mon district, which shares its border with Myanmar, is definitely a significant location because Mon district itself has 9 constituencies, and with over 1.54 lakh voters, it is definitely have a sizable number of voters who had turned out, and the voting percentage, interestingly, Ronak, was very on the high, above 90%. So now if we talk about the security arrangement for tomorrow's counting, yes, we have this information that there has been a lot of arrangement which has been kept in place. Here particularly where right now I am standing at the Deputy Commissioner's premises of the Deputy Commissioner's office here in Mon, there will be multi-layered security, 3 to 4 layer security cordon, which will be manned by the CAPF, that is the Central Armed Police Force, and contingents of the Nagaland Armed Police Battalion also. So security has been made foolproof. We had interacted with the senior officials here. They have given us this assessment that there is overall a tight security in the counting hall and also throughout the district, because there is an input that there might be post-poll violence in Mon district. This input has been gathered by the officials here, and this is why throughout the district the security has been beefed up. The border with Myanmar has been sealed, and the Assam Rifles is conducting regular patrol in those vulnerable areas. So, Ronak, if we are talking about the arrangements, there will be around 200 personnel who will be involved in the counting process of the 9 constituencies in Mon district here. And of this, we are expecting that there will be early trends by 10:30, since counting will start at 8 a.m. And the results, we will come to know the most part of the results by 1:30 or so. So that is the update here as of now. Ronak.
All right, thank you so much for that, 𝗡𝗢𝗥𝗧𝗏. Please stand by. And let me once again go back to my colleague Pinaki Das joining us from Agartala at this point in time. Pinaki, I have a very specific question for you. You know, there has been a long history of pre-poll violence and even post-poll violence in Tripura, and this election too, unfortunately, has not been too different. So, you know, there will obviously be some concerns regarding security arrangements. We saw a few disruptions in security, you know, few disruptions in the law and order situation on a polling day. So, obviously there will be people wondering whether there are adequate arrangements in place to ensure that there is no disruption in the peaceful conduct of counting of votes tomorrow. So, in that regard, you had a word with the West Tripura District Election Officer. So, could you give us a little bit more details on what you gathered from him as far as tightening up of the security is concerned, Pinaki?
See, as I said, in the polling stations there will be three cordon of securities, but the more concern is outside. Outside the polling station, the political parties will be kept at separate places. There are at least 4 to 5 entries to the polling center in Agartala. So those entries have been given to separate political parties so that no clash happen. Again, in the interior places and outside towns and other cities, there the area domination has already started 2 months back, and from today again they have rejuvenated those type of area domination, particularly by the central paramilitary forces. There have been prohibitory orders that the gathering of more than 5% will not be allowed, and again there has been lot of arrests, those have been made in advance, so against those people particularly who have a record of crime or repeatedly they have been found that committing crime. In those cases there have been more than thousands of arrests, those have been already made, and those are suspected. In that case they have been summoned to the police stations where they have to every day go and show their presence also.
All right.
And the police has already...
All right. So, Pinaki, there seems to be quite a lot of preparations that have been made in order to ensure that there is no such incident that takes place tomorrow as well. So, now let me go across to 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗥𝗧𝗛𝗡 joining us up from Kohima. Sarah, my question to you as well is quite similar. We saw a few sporadic incidents of violence, and today as well, when repolling was conducted across 4 polling stations, there was some disruption in law and order then as well. Let's not get into a lot of detail regarding that now. However, as far as tomorrow is concerned, I'm sure the people concerned are also taking that into account and making sure that there is not a repeat of such incidents come tomorrow as well. Sarah.
Because a sea of supporters will be outside the counting centres waiting for the result declaration of their respective candidates, and hence taking the post-poll violence and the pre-poll violence into account, the state authorities have also made adequate arrangements of security, especially in the vulnerable areas. They have heightened up the security there as well, especially in the counting centres, and in some of the districts where post-poll alliance were reported even today, 144 CRPC has been imposed in those respective districts and towns where violence had been reported. And when we talk about today's recall that happened in four polling stations in four districts, well, so far we have been informed that by and large the recall in these 4 polling stations were very peaceful, and no account of any violence were reported today. So yes, the authorities are taking all measures to ensure there are no violence tomorrow during the big day, and yes, likewise, accordingly, the authorities have also tightened up the security in the counting centres, especially in the vulnerable areas.
All right. 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗥𝗧𝗏, thank you very much for bringing us all of those updates. And now, once again, to all my team of reporters who are standing by and bringing us all of those updates, 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗥𝗧𝗏, Joydeep Hazarika, Pinaki Das, Arindam Das, and of course, 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗥𝗧𝗏, to all of you, thank you very much for joining us this evening and bringing us all of those updates regarding the security arrangements in place for D-Day tomorrow.